So history will prove that Lawrence Taylor's first sack will be one of the biggest individual accomplishments of a defensive player in NFL history. So the NFL did not recognize the quarterback sack as an official stat until 1982. Lawrence Taylor's rookie year was 1981. So the story goes like this. John Turney, Nick Webster, and their team at Pro Football Journal worked on watching every piece of footage from 1960 to the completion of the 1981 season to count the number of sacks from the greats like Deacon Jones, the Fearsome Foursome, Bubba Baker, the Purple People Eater, so on and so on and so on. So Turney and Webster released their information in 2021 to the Hall of Fame. Shortly thereafter, recognized their work and awarded unofficial quarterback sacks to statistics of those NFL players that played from 1960 to 1981. So this was work by these two guys, Turney and Webster, great work that the Hall of Fame recognized they started this in 1992, started working on this. So in Lawrence Taylor's case, his career sack total jumped from 132 and a half to 142, recognizing 9.5 sacks from the 1981 season based on the work from Turney and Webster, right? Because this new info was not readily available on Wikipedia or Pro Football Reference, I found John Turney's email address by tracking him down at the Pro Football Journal website, and I wrote him an email because I needed to find out exactly when Lawrence Taylor's first sack was because I wanted to get the ticket for it. So I write, "Hi there, John. I've been online looking and I can't seem to find the date when Lawrence Taylor recorded his first quarterback sack in a regular season game in 1981. Wikipedia has him noted as having 2 sacks in a preseason game, and from what I gathered, he did not have a sack in a regular season debut on week 1, which was his debut September 6, 1981. Now that the NFL record books have allowed sacks before 1981 to count towards his career totals, I gathered that he had 9.5 sacks in 1981, but when was his first one? When was his first sack? I'm thinking that it was his second pro game, September 20th, 1981, but I can't confirm that. Any links or info would be greatly appreciated. I hear you're the one to ask since you were a major part in having sacks pre-1981 as a part of the permanent record. Good article in the New York Times about that. Big fan. Thank you, Dave Catalano." That's the article I write to John Turney, not expecting anything in return, but boom, I'm off to the races. He sends me a chart, an entire chart of Lawrence Taylor's statistics from 1981, his tackles, his solo tackles, his tackle assists, and his sacks. Obviously, forced fumbles, interceptions. So I see that his first sack is October 4th, 1981, against the Green Bay Packers. So I'm scouring eBay for 1981 Giants tickets. I send out some messages in my collectible ticket group, and then bam, I find one. No negotiation. I just pay. Full ask. I need the ticket. A week after the ticket arrives, I see that LT's doing a signing at a show in North Jersey with lots of former Giants. LT has many tickets signed. I have many tickets signed from LT before, so I was flattered. He recognized me, and he says, "There you go, the ticket master." And, I have like 20% loss of hearing in my right ear. I didn't hear him very well. The room was kind of loud. And when I got up to him and I was just like, "Did you just call me the ticket bastard?" And he goes, "Yeah, that's you, the ticket bastard." And there it is, hence the name. So that's why we're calling this podcast the Ticket Bastard. So I explained to him that I have a ticket from the day he got his first sack. And his response is, "Was that against the Eagles?" So he's thinking that it's September 6th, the debut, that he got a sack in his first game. And I'm like, "No, sorry. The Eagles were your debut, but you didn't get a sack until the 5th game against the Packers." He goes, "Man, that's bullshit." And I'm like, seriously, like this is exactly, and I have to explain to him, John Turney, Webster, they're doing all this research. They're working with the Hall of Fame. He goes, "Man, they didn't even know what a sack was." And I'm like, exactly, because you look back at the game footage, there's lots of, the announcers didn't even know how to call a quarterback sack. They were just like, they tackled the quarterback as a defensive player, like came in and sacked. So I had to show him the chart that Turney sent me because he refused to sign the ticket. He slid the ticket back across the table to me. And so I showed him the chart, And I said, listen, this is all like unofficial record at this point, but it's being recognized by the NFL. It's being recognized by the Hall of Fame. It's the 9.5 sacks that you got awarded in 1981 that get added on to your career totals. And he was just like, all right, ticket bastard, you know your shit. And he slid the ticket back over to him and he signed Lawrence Taylor, first sack, right on it. And I was like, woo, I'm in there. I am the only one that has a first sack ticket signed by Lawrence Taylor. So now why is this significant? So the first sack is huge significance, not only for all the reasons we just went through, but because LT was the first outside linebacker in a 3-4 set to be lined up in the weak side in passing situations to get after the quarterback. This is the brilliance of Coach Bill Parcells, the brilliance of defensive coordinator Bill Belichick, and they lined up Lawrence Taylor opposite of the tight end and went into the backfield on every play. You either go after the quarterback or you cut across the line if the running back is sweeping in the opposite direction to chop down the running game from behind. Now, every team in the NFL has this guy. They're called edge rushers, right? Micah Parsons, TJ Watt are two of the best. But LT was the best of all time at this. And LT's off-the-field problems are well documented, but I'm not here for that. I'm seriously not here for that. I'm simply saying that he's the best football player on the defensive side of the ball of all time. We could have conversations about Ray Lewis, Ronnie Lott, Ed Reed, Reggie White, Bruce Smith, Aaron Donald, whoever you want to talk about, but for my money, it's Lawrence Taylor in a landslide. Accept no imitations. LT, the OG, no one did it better. This is Dave Cat. I'm the ticket bastard for Iconic Sports Media.
Let's go out here like a bunch of crazy dogs, have some fun.